Hey, John. Oi. This is DinoFly for John and other international students since we targeting them because they are predictable, have a standard start and end date for a semester, and they have flexible time and energetic to browse around Hong Kong.
DinoFly is a one-stop shop for international and exchange students to satisfy their needs and wants while they're here. We begin with 4 main features. Once they land at the airport, Dino Guide will present them with all of the information they need to navigate Hong Kong successfully during their time here. From SIM cards to figuring out octopus cards to cash exchanges, medical needs, laundry, and so on and so forth. Next, we have Dino Buy. It's a feature where we have students exclusive only discounts to encourage international students to explore and shop around the retail shops, attractions, museums, both within and around the Hong Kong area. Dino Link is a way for students to connect with other international students in the area. For example, it can manage a list of different types of group chats, for instance, from where they're from to what activities they can end up doing. And last but not least, we want these students to travel in groups, so we will have Dino Trips. We will offer special flight and hotel, attractive flight and hotel packages to encourage students to travel to nearby countries. Hong Kong students abroad will typically have many opportunities to take these different side trips, and we want to encourage them to do so. We surveyed over 50 students, including all of the folks from MZ, and we received an overwhelming positive response. For instance, 100% of the students would make 1 to 2 additional side trips with flight discounts. And we have this glowing testimonial from a former HK exchange student. DinoFly is the best out of all of the apps, all of the existing apps, in terms of student customization and connectivity. Our main revenue stream will come from commissions from partners both within the airport and outside of the airport. Other sources of revenue would include advertisements, monetization of privacy-preserving data analytics, and generally increased student airline travel due to partnerships with other airports.
Moving on to our total addressable market, in 2022, Hong Kong had over 46K international students, and with the new policies that double foreign intake, we foresee this to be 80K in the future. Additionally, since there are 2K exchange students annually in Hong Kong, our final number would be approximately 82K exchange and international students in Hong Kong per year. So how would HKIA benefit from this? First is millions of dollars in additional revenue, primarily from the additional side trips that we would encourage these students to take through Dino Link, in which case the total average airport revenue per passenger, since it's 145 HKD, and through our survey insights, we found that students would be willing to take 1 to 2 additional round trips with our student exclusive discounts. So this would lead to an increase in 23.2 million annually in revenue, and this number is sustainable and only growing over time with the increase in foreign students and Hong Kong's increased focus in tech innovation, which will lead to more foreign travelers in the student market in the future. For our go-to-market strategy in 2024, in January through March, we'll focus on testing our initial MVP with pilot groups with 2 to 3 universities. From April to June, we'll work on adding additional partnerships both inside and outside of the HKIA. From July to August, we'll be focused on mainly our marketing initiatives to get the word out, to finally launch in September to December for the fall semester, which will reach the students at universities through the program directors at these schools abroad. As for our future steps, in year 2, we'll focus on adding additional HKIA partnerships to really cultivate the most best cultural experience possible. Year 3, we'll focus on cultivating these buddy programs between airports to welcome more local connections, before finally expanding to other foreign talent markets which have similar needs as these students. We are the DinoFly team. We have a diverse range of experiences and skill sets across wide various areas, which we bring to the Dino Best to the DinoFly team. So our ask is fourfold. 1, add a physical stand and student lounge on arrivals. 2, help us develop partnerships. 3, provide us with additional passenger student data. And 4, promote the app through the airport channels. So we are DinoFly, the one-stop shop including Dino Guide, Dino Buy, Dino Link, and Dino Trips to help international and exchange students like John have the best experience abroad starting at the airport. Thank you.
Thank you, Team DinoFly. Great presentation. Now we'll pass the time to the judges for 5 minutes of Q&A.
Very interesting. I could see that they are actually actually quite easy for competitors to just put in an additional features and basically just try to outcompete the DinoFly. Just take Klook, right? Obviously it's also a domestic Hong Kong grown entrepreneurship, right? And they could easily make a, I don't know, Klook University or Klook students, and they at least would be able to manage to at least easily get to the airport side, and maybe, I don't know, for the Chinese mainland Chinese students, right? It could be what Trip.com, Chinese students to Hong Kong, sub-tab, and they could take at least 50% of the function. So I think my question is, how are you going to be differentiating yourself with all this potentially bigger guys out there that could just take some of the market share away from you? I think the second question is, I think that it's actually interesting, right? Say if you make it quite localized to Hong Kong, right? But the problem is usually when foreign students going to come, or actually any foreigners going to come, right? They would not know your DAB, right? I.e., if I go to the US, right? All I know is Expedia, and I wouldn't know, say if it's MIT, BostonCollegeKids.com, I would know that, right? Because it's the first time I'm coming. Probably a month later, I would know, which may have already defeated the purpose. So how are you going to make the recognition for a local name to your audience, which is a little bit like not necessarily a very savvy travelers, because they may be actually traveling the first time?
So for the first question, in terms of competitive differentiation, I'd say the main focus point and our differentiation points are very niche focus on these students, specifically first-time students in Hong Kong, while a lot of our competitors, especially Klook and other similar apps, are very focused on local students in Hong Kong or people who might be more familiar with the ecosystem already. And therefore, we took a look at it and things like that, and a lot of it's only in Cantonese, or some offerings may not have that cultural history or explanation behind of it, while we focus solely on these new students who are coming to Hong Kong. And a lot of our focus also on the community aspect, which is a big competitive differentiation point as well, especially with DinoLink, since a lot of these other platforms have a list of events or features or cultural exploration points, but none of them facilitate these group chat features of being able to connect with these like-minded students like we do, and especially with this market of international students who may not know anyone else coming in. And to the second part of your question, in terms of how we'll get the word out there, especially with these niche local groups, our main, direct decision-making unit would be the program directors themselves. So how we do approach this is by being able to connect with these, for example, program directors at foreign universities in US or in Canada or things like that. So we'll reach out to universities themselves for the directors of these study abroad programs, and through them being able to channel through to the students.
From the merchant side of view or your partner side of view, what's the benefit of offering a good price for you so that you can list on your website, your app?
Yeah, I guess the main benefits to our partnerships would be through being able to, I guess, be at a marketing unit to them as well, since these are the very niche groups. And for example, corporate sponsors or different cultural locations will probably also want to be engaged with these types of students to be able to introduce them to them their offerings, and potentially, for example, for different corporations or businesses, being able to attract them as future employees or future people to stay and network with. So just being on our app is also like a marketing opportunity for them to introduce them to the foreign youths who may not have had exposure to their kind of offerings, products, or services in the past. So just being able to be part of a whole community of students who are going to these companies and going to these different locations will kind of serve as like a brand reputation purpose for them as well.
I have a little bit to add on. It's like the airline and hotel we said is about selling a package, and within 48 hours is for the students to have a short trips. Yeah, Here, a special offer for them is when we are partnering with the airline or hotel in the nearby countries. Just for them, if they are having a short sellings, and for the students to join take the empty ticket.
Thank you, Team Dinofly, and thank you, judges. Now, can we please welcome Team 2, Leapfrog, up to the stage?
When I booked my flight to Hong Kong from Oslo, Norway, I truly did consider adding Qatar as a layover destination, as they even offer hotels, 5-star hotels, for as little as $20 US. However, I decided not to do it, as I thought it would be too much of a hassle to carry my suitcase around in yet another city and check in at an airport that I'm unfamiliar with for just a 1 or 2 day stopover. Pre-COVID, the average traveler spent 3 days in Hong Kong. If you factor in that most travelers spend at most 12 to 13 hours a day exploring a city, that leaves less than 40 hours to explore the city of Hong Kong. As a result, for the average traveler, time is their most precious commodity. We believe HKIA is truly a well-run airport, but we believe it can further improve by helping save passenger time also outside of the airport premises. Today, we would like to introduce Leapfrog, a point-to-point baggage service in partnership with airlines that will take your luggage from the aircraft to the hotel and from the hotel to the aircraft. And you can also check in at the hotel, so you can go directly from the Airport Express to the security. HKIA has already introduced a similar service, which we think is fantastic. But by a quick show of hands in this room, how many has purchased this service at the airport? 2. We're not surprised. We've surveyed more than 30 travelers, and less than 5% had even heard of the service, yet alone bought the service. Moreover, the service is not scalable, as it utilizes vans and individual check-in agents, checking in people at their home, resulting in a cap on the number of baggages they can handle every day. Resultantly, this service is a luxury product priced at almost 600 HKD for a round trip per bag. Lastly, the users we talked to has also emphasized low trust in third-party providers handling their most precious items, and they were also unsure how this service would even work. We have created Leapfrog to tackle these key issues. Next, Jeremy will explain how this process will work.
So when you arrive in Hong Kong, your bag will be transported directly from the plane to the Airport Express without going to the baggage claim. And the Airport Express is gonna take that bag to all the stations where the bag will be unloaded and transported to the hotel shuttles via a conveyor belt system. Then the hotel shuttle is gonna take that bag to the hotel while the passenger may explore Hong Kong before returning to the hotel and retrieve their bags. For departure, the passengers may check in their bag at the hotel, and the bag will be loaded onto the hotel shuttle. At the Airport Express station, the hotel shuttle will unload the passengers and the bags in separate sections, so the passengers may not touch their checked bag. Arriving at the airport, the passengers may go directly to the immigration and security, while the bag will be loaded onto the plane. For both the arrival and departure, a trackable bag tag will be attached, so passengers can check their bags in real time. This slide shows how passengers may book our service. We bundle our service with the air ticket to avoid booking through a third-party website. To start with a small volume, we first include a service for economy, essential, and flex tickets, and for all business and first-class tickets. Economy Light passengers may also purchase this service for a fee. After purchasing the ticket, the passengers may select the hotel they're staying at. When checking in for the flight, the airline will issue a special bag tag to identify the hotel to be sent to. This diagram shows how the bag can be transported from the Airport Express to the hotel shuttles. Since the mechanism to transfer the bag from the Airport Express to the terminal already exists for departing bags, the same mechanism can be adopted for the arriving bags. For departure, a similar mechanism can be adopted.
Now, after conducting our market research, we have came to the realization that there are 71.5 million total passengers traveling through HKIA per year before COVID times. And we estimate that around 6.4 million of them are international passengers with checked-in luggages and are eligible for Leapfrog services. Since we are charging 300 Hong Kong dollars per round trip, there'll be 1.9 billion Hong Kong dollars for the total addressable market. Now, why exactly will HKIA and airlines choose to work with us? It's because we position our collaborators as the most prominent beneficiaries. First of all, there will be increased value for all. There will be more profit for airfare bundle, and travelers are also eligible to enjoy first-class services at a reasonable price. Secondly, there will be higher volumes for all. Since there's improved efficiency and convenience, there will be more check-in passengers as well as luggages. Now, last but not least, we could create a premium brand image for our collaborators. We can showcase that our partners are very customer-oriented and by implementing premium services as the new norm of travel. This is our go-to-market strategy for the next 12 months. First of all, we will partner with Cathay Pacific and SF Express as a sales pilot, and then we will pivot to MTR's existing infrastructure, their Airport Express and shuttle buses for logistic pivoting. And then we'll expand the hotels we partner with. And last but not least, we'll partner with One World Alliance to work with more airlines. Now, after a considerable amount of development and maturing, we will then normalize this for all the airlines that operate in the HKIA.
We believe this will reshape the customer journey and improve the passenger volume by appealing to travelers like me considering adding Hong Kong as a 1 to 2 day stopover destination. And it will also generate stable B2B subscription revenue through our business model. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Team Leapfrog. Now we'll pass the time to the judges for Q&A.
Interesting. I really would like to understand your cost model, because today the service that SF Express offer, you're right. There are 2 persons raised their hands that heard of this service, but in fact, what we know is nobody used this service so far, right? So the problem is the cost, which is quite expensive. And we ship directly to your destination, not just from your home or hotel to the airport here. So how is your cost model going to be cheap and attractive? How much will a passenger willing to pay for an extra for carrying the baggage free from their hands to the destination?
Thank you very much for your question. So we have actually thought about this. So basically what we have to do is we build conveyor belt systems that connect existing conveyor belt systems in the Airport Express stations to the bus drop-off point. So we actually have studied the MTR stations for this, and we found it very efficient, just here to here, because they already have a system themselves that handles everything behind the counter. Okay, so this is the Hong Kong station. This is the Kowloon station, which is, well, very similar. And about cost, so it's mainly just building the conveyor system belt for us, since the MTR are already handling their hotel shuttles, as well as the logistics for the Airport Express. So as we can see, the conveyor units, we aim to, for each conveyor belt unit, it costs around 8,000 Hong Kong dollars, and we estimate we need 60 of them. And we also considered variable costs for workers' daily salaries. So when we begin, we will aim to cover variable costs first, and initial investments can be, put behind. And since we are charging 150 per trip, comparing to nearly 300 of SF Express, and by the number of baggages we can handle each day, which is around, 17K, we can come to that we will have a gross margin per day of 2.5 million if our system is very mature and running in full scale. And since MTR is dealing with most of the operations already, they would get most of the cut, and the airline's marginal cut would be 35%. And how does this 35% come from? Since we are charging 300, the airlines, they would pay us 200, and they keep 100. So that's around 35%. And then for hotels, they get 10% for their trouble, and for Leapfrog's final cut, we get 10% as well. So that's our cost revenue analysis.
Another consideration is if you transport all the bags through the whole city to the Airport Express train, there are additional time required to offload from the truck and load in the train, and then from the train unload again. So another consideration is the long duration. So how many hours beforehand the passenger need to engage your service, otherwise you cannot guarantee the delivery on time, right?
So for unloading from the train or onto the train, we see that we can put all the bags in one container. So the worker can only need to push the entire container into the train, which takes them less than 30 seconds. And we also store the bags automatically, so the driver or one assistant can drag the bag onto the bag container on the hotel shuttle. So this conveyor belt system is fully automatic, and this process only takes 30 seconds, and this takes around a few minutes. So it's still very efficient.
But to answer your question explicitly, we assume that you would have to check in your bag 4 hours before departure once fully operational. So we will definitely lose some customers that are not willing to check in their luggage that early, because some travelers definitely prefer to just pack up their luggage and go when it's 2 hours until the departure. So we acknowledge that we will lose some customers on this, but we believe that there are passengers willing to check in 4 hours before from their hotel and not from the airport.
Thank you, Team Leapfrog. I'm afraid that's all the time we have for Q&A. Yeah, well done. Now moving on, can we pass the floor to Team Free, Sherlock?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your time and welcome to Sherlock. Before I begin, I'd like to ask a question. Who here has seen this unfold at an airport? The children run around without a care in the world, and the parents are stressed and exhausted from managing their bags and the children all day. However, thanks to Sherlock, an automatic carry-on storage solution, the parents are now relieved from this burden. Hong Kong International Airport is a truly global travel hub with an array of opportunities in dining, entertainment, and retail. Families can entertain and energize their children at the local play area. Families can entertain and energize their children at the local play area, and solo travelers can spend time at the luxury department stores, or perhaps they can choose to take a nap at the many resting spots throughout the airport. However, despite this, there's one concern that dampens the travel effect for families and solo travelers, and that is the burden of carrying your hand luggage everywhere. Families these days, when traveling with young children, have to consider taking their toys, clothes, and even food throughout the whole airport. Similarly, shoppers are not able to sometimes consider what other item they have to bring. Perhaps to a bar, you might feel uncomfortable taking a nap on your own if somebody can take these items. You might also not be able to enter a souvenir store if there's too many items in your hand. Therefore, today, we'd like to introduce to you ShareLock, an automatic carry-on storage solution.
So here's a part of ShareLock. You can find them after security check near toilets and retail areas. Each of these pods can store up to 80 carry-on luggages, and passengers can leave their bags here to enjoy a hassle-free experience in the air side. The pods include an LED screen to let it perfectly blend into the surroundings with a simple guideline here, and several backdrop terminals, like only one demonstrated here. Let me pause for a moment. Raise your hand if you ever use a self-baggage checking system in the airport, in any airport. Raise your hand. Oh, that's much more than the SF Express service. Good job, HKIA. Yeah, so our service is quite similar, but even more user-friendly. Only 3 steps. First, present the QR code in the My HKG app to the scanner, so we know who you are and when to send you a notification when it's time to board and get back your luggage. 2, put your bag on the tray. Thus, even a paper bag can be stored properly. 3, the automated robot conveyor system takes the trays and securely moves them into locker units. That's it. Passengers can enjoy their layover or explore the airport with peace of mind, knowing their belongings are safe and sound. So this map demonstrates how the pods will be put inside the airport. They will be deployed first around the 2 major retail hubs in the airport in high density, and later expand to the gate area. ShareLock offers benefits to every stakeholder involved. It can significantly increase the internal traffic flow, also by integrating with the My HKG app, which only has a single-digit use rate according to our AA mentors. I'm sorry. The airport can capture valuable data to improve the overall airport experience. Furthermore, it provides new marketing and profit possibilities for the retailers. Now, when it comes to the affordability and convenience, ShareLock stands out as the best option among all the alternatives. It offers a secure, low-cost, and highly flexible service that ensures peace of mind and convenience for all the travelers, allowing them to store and explore.
In the initial 3 months of launch, we will incentivize travelers to download the MyHKG app by offering a 50% discount for the first 3 hours of locker usage. Following the discounted hours, the standard rate will be 20 HKD per hour, with potential discounts available through our partnership networks. To evaluate the cost and financial viability, we have conducted a comprehensive financial analysis with strong advertising strategies and conservative usage statistics. The analysis indicates a projected payback period of 9 to 10 months after deployment. During the first 3 months, we will strategically deploy the automated locker system in high-traffic areas while simultaneously reviewing our pricing model. Subsequently, we will expand the system to cover a wider area and establish partnerships with reputable travel agencies to maximize our audience outreach. In our product roadmap, we will focus on data collection and the conversion rates of foot traffic to digital adoption. In 3 years, we aim to integrate the lockers with an air conveyor belt system, which offers users to drop off the luggage after security and pick up at the boarding gate. To drive engagement and boost retail sales, we will leverage traveler data to launch personalized marketing campaigns, effectively guiding traffic towards the 11 skies. Furthermore, we aim to launch a single-person campaign to gamify the airport experience and expand to the airport city to create a seamless transition. Through monitoring of internal traffic patterns and improvements in user experience, we aspire to enhance the competitiveness of the Hong Kong airport, transforming the city airport into an immersive airport city experience. Next time at the airport, find the nearest locker. Worry no more, simply store and explore. Travel freely with ShareLock.
Great job, Team Sherlock. Now we'll pass the time to the judges. Any questions?
To clarify is that the locker is just stay there and you will not travel those to the boarding gate, right?
That is the initial plan, yes.
Oh, okay. So what is the follow-up then?
Could you say that again?
This is the initial plan, right?
Yes.
So what is the planning ahead?
Yes.
Because the main focus is if you stay there, then I need to get back and pick up.
Yeah.
Then I can shopping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah,
what's your plan?
Yeah, that's definitely a valid concern. And so we think we're going to integrate a multi-step rollout plan. So initially, it will be the stationary lockers that you mentioned. They'll be located behind every toilet, up every other gate, as well as in the major retail locations. We're targeting those people who might not have usually moved about. They would store their stuff there, and then they can start moving around. Now, after the first 12 months, so we've deployed across the entire terminal, we can start to integrate more integrated services. For example, in 3 years, we plan to essentially connect all of these storage systems through an air conveyor system. So you could drop your stuff at the security checkpoint, and it would bring it throughout the entire airport. We're not doing this immediately because we predict some level of usage rate, but we are not sure how long that will take to pan out. And so we're providing the option to roll out at a slower or faster rate. Additionally, there is the ability to kind of integrate these services in later. So we're making it, designing the lockers specifically so that you can integrate these automated movers at a later step when this becomes more widely adopted.
Okay. So later on maybe you talk a little bit about the capex investment, at least in the phase one, because I think I guess my question would be, right? This is essentially a locker system, right? In a traditional sense. If you think about where lockers are most widely used, at least I'm aware of, right? Is Japan, where there's lots of them in train stations, right? You go to any of those eki, you would have a big sub-locker system. But I think when you go to even the Japanese airport, right, the domestic one, you don't actually see them even being used in the airside. So I just wondered, even for a very locker-conscious country, where Japan, even a traditional one, I'm not even talking about a fancy one, right? Not the one that you guys are thinking about, like automated, blah blah blah, and why this hasn't really been even adopted in a very locker-conscious culture, where in Japan, where domestic airport haven't really even used it in even their domestic airport. At least I'm not aware, correct me if I'm wrong. So why do you think that this idea would fly even in a very sort of locker-conscious culture?
Yeah, we think that this idea particularly would work well at the HKIA for a few reasons. I think the first one here is that we conducted over 25 interviews, and we realized that almost 70% of the people that we talked to considered dining or going shopping after they got to the airport. And many of them did say that they were burdened by their bags. Right, so providing this service would allow them to store and explore the HKIA airport, which has a host of retail and dining options that you really would like passengers to utilize. And Additionally, through our flexible rollout plan, this is something that we can really test. We can run a pilot program initially to validate this idea. This is why we are not proposing a sort of one-time all airport installation, because there is this chance that you mentioned that it doesn't work out, right? So we want to make sure that we're conscious to these ideas, that there are some sort of cultural differences that could possibly impact the visitors here. But we just want to reemphasize that there are a significant portion of travelers who are traveling with their family or they're traveling solo. And these passengers could really benefit from a service like this through our surveys and through other testimonials.
Just one note for you. Transfer passengers. We had thought about putting lockers over 10 years ago for transfer passengers via HKIA. And the concern from the security regulators is that it could have bombs or whatever. So not allowed to let a transfer passengers leave something at the airport alone. Just for your information.
Thank you for the note.
Great, thank you, Team Sherlock, and thank you, judges. Now let's welcome Team 4 up to the stage, JCAR Experience.
Hello, we are the Joyful Connections Airport Revitalization Team, and on this wonderful Friday, we would love to share with you our plan to save the HKIA.
Let's start with meeting the Jefferson. So Jefferson is a young adult, fresh graduate, millennials, so his first time being to Hong Kong. So we found that Jefferson is actually budget conscious, and he's also addicted to the social media, so he would like to share a lot of things, details about his trip to his friends. And also, Jefferson would like the in-depth travel. He would like to experience with the culture and also interact with the culture. So, so far, Jefferson thinks Hong Kong Airport is a very good airport. It's efficient, it's clean, and it's well-functioned. But that's not enough. We want Jeffersons to walk around the airport, to spend more at the airport, and also what makes important is to find something that is interesting, and he will share those interesting things to his friend about the airport.
All of that in mind, we would love to introduce Hong Kong International Airport as the food paradise airport. Locals around the island know Hong Kong as the food paradise, but foreigners and travelers alike don't know this identity. So why don't we introduce this at the start and the end of their journey at the airport itself? It'll be culture representative. It will enhance the experience. And not only that, it will be competitive against other high-end airports in the region. So we want to have step 1. Add culturally significant, iconic statues in the airport. These, in this case, will be the zodiacs. This is culture representative within the historical culture, as well as has a nice aesthetic view to it. On top of that, with each of these zodiacs, we want to include additional food vendors serving authentic, traditional Hong Kong street food, whether it be shoo mai, egg waffles, or fish balls. We see this as a way for travelers to have a culturally in-depth, diverse experience while at the airport. So, and we see it partnering with airport restaurants such as King's Bakery, Menhua Bing Ten, and WX in order not to be competitive with their revenue. We plan to put it at strategic locations within the arrival and, as you'll see later, the departure. So let's you and me go through a little bit of user journey. You arrive in the airport. You see a tiger. You're like, oh, well, that's interesting. Let me get a shoo mai from that. You get the shoo mai, you're enjoying it, and you see a QR code in front of it. What is this QR code? You open up your My HKIA app, and you see a new tag. Digital stamp collectible. We see this as a way in order to allow users to have a chance to explore and look at each representative statue. With this app interface, we see it as a way to engage you, to make you explore the airport, especially when you have more time. Now, we see this as integrated with Hong Kong Landmarks. Just by adding simple QR codes in front of them, we can see you going to the Peak, the Big Buddha, Causeway Bay, just to scan and have an interactive experience around the island that starts and then we'll see end at the airport. We want to include event campaigns that'll change the stamps as the city changes itself, whether it be the marathon, the cyclotron, the Dragon Boat, or the Rugby 7. This will change how it works entirely. Now, you're ending your trip in Hong Kong. You go to some of these vendors in order to get, some egg waffles. You're hungry. But you also notice, I got these stamps. They're all digital. What the hell can I use them for? We see a redemption system, whether it be 5, 10, or maybe all of your stamps. You can redeem some subsection to get maybe a small thing like a small postcard or something as nice as, look at this beautiful dragon statue, something like that. So we see this as a beautiful experience for any user at the Hong Kong International Airport, from the arrival to the city to the departure.
So next will be the total addressable market. So in 2022, there was a total of 5.7 million passengers. And through that, we believe that we have 1.4 target passengers. And in that target passengers, we will have 200,000 obtainable passengers. So next will be the business model canvas. So we'll be able to, through the statues, you'll be able to have more aesthetics and a better cultural immersion. The cost will mainly come from making the statues and advertising, as well as manning the food vendors. For the revenue, it will directly come from the food and indirectly come from the increased traffic flow throughout the airport and the tourism. In terms of budget, we'll need 6.5 million Hong Kong dollars for vendor spaces and 5 million for marketing and promotion. So for the assumptions, we believe that we'll be able to integrate into the operations seamlessly. The regulations should be able to comply, and we believe we've already completed the local and tourist engagement.
All of that being said, we want you to savor Hong Kong and consider us to save Hong Kong International Airport. We will now take questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the judges?
Other than food, is there any other more things to promote Hong Kong to be more attractive to international passengers?
We actually, through our surveys, we found that low-budget travelers, who was our target demographic, rarely spent on souvenirs. It was primarily food purchasing, so that's why we focus on that. But we also see within the redemption system, in which you can get a postcard, a small statue, and the like, that would be the physical gain, the attraction, a part of that system that would be advertised. Can you guys come over here? Thank you. Does that answer your question by chance? Thank you. Next question, please.
Thanks for your presentation. I think it is very interesting.
Thank you.
I have a follow-up question. So basically, your redemption and also the whole experience is actually like at the airport. So is there any extended experience, like when you are out of the airport or throughout the stay, that your app or your whole network can help them to extend, and then when they return, they can get the redemption as a an end of their experience like that?
No, we wanted to start and end at the airport. We wanted it, yes, Hong Kong Globes can participate. This is just through the app. Anyone can scan a stamp. But we want it to be such that you're reliant on the airport system to cultivate that exploration from the start to the city to the end. And so we see it as having only redemption systems within the airport environment itself.
Okay, so I mean, indeed, at the airport, we actually try to encourage, the economy, the mass market to at least have some purchases at the airport. Be it egg tarts and all these other things that we try to offer at the airport. And you could, you rightly mentioned about some of the names that we have put in place at the airport. Now, I mean, those vendors are actually in place at the airport already, right? And all we need to do, we just need to optimize a little bit of our retail offering at the landside where they arrival, right? Which, we have some, we may not have all. And actually work with, say, the tourism board on the redemption, and that's it, right? And I'm just wondering, and that actually would be done with that, with your idea. But I'm just wondering what's exactly would be the value added for your service, because you obviously are here to present a value proposition for your business, right? Because your idea could be just basically, I just call up the tourism board and maybe with Chris and basically say, hey, I just need some stamps and work with the Dan Tat Wong, and then it's done, and then and then maybe I will take 2 of you as interns, and I think that's it. So what would be your business case so that you have your souvenir code at our airport, other than basically I just call up Chris and it's done?
I think our team cultivates an immense amount of skills that allow us to ideate and to implement this successfully. I don't know how to say it, but you don't have a stamp system. You don't have these statutes. You don't have any of this, but you've had years to do it. And so with our skills, our collective minds, we can then put it in place in the airport. We can get it done. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the judges?
So one of the interesting point of your presentation, the idea that show us is you have visualizing an idea. So after the first tasting, okay, it's good, then what's next? Because people may not join the STEM collections again and so on. So how do you continue engaging the users and so on?
Well, we wanted the stamping system to be as engaging or disengaging as you please. But there's still the statues within the airport. You can still go up there, take some Instagram pictures, have a good time with that. And even then, we see that stamping system is so incentivized because it allows you to kind of get a guide on where to go. If the stamping system says, hey, there are some things at Lantau, I'm going to go to Lantau. Says some things in Causeway, I'm going to go to Causeway Bay. So yes, not everyone's going to use the stamping system, but we see that having these statues within the airport, that in itself would be incentive for people to go and take pictures. If you look at Changi Airport, they have a waterfall. That has no value other than to drop water. But people still go and look at it because it's a beautiful waterfall. It is purely there for aesthetics, and that's what we want to do within our solution as well at the first step. But we got 2 more steps after that. Thank you.
Great, thank you judges for the questions, and thank you Team JCAR for the most engaging presentation. Now let's welcome Team 5, Culture Pop. Please come up to the stage.
So I want to start off with a question. Can we go back to the first slide? Oh, it's mine? Oh, it's touch. So I want to start off with a question. Which of these airports do you think is more recognizable? When we asked most tourists, they found the airport on the right, which is as known to many of us as Changi Airport in Singapore, to be the more recognizable airport. With this fact in mind, we wanted to tackle a 3-pronged problem that we see in Hong Kong International Airport. First of all, when doing market interviews, we found that people see there's a lack of connection between the Hong Kong International Airport to the local, rich and diverse Hong Kong culture. When interviewed, people said that the airport felt industrial, non-distinctive, and just not representative of Hong Kong culture overall. Second of all, we bear in mind the goal of the airport authority to convert HKIA from a city airport to an airport city. And as such, we feel that the sense of identity that might exist, for example, in an airport like Changi Airport must also exist in Hong Kong International Airport. Finally, there's simply not enough foot traffic in retail stores. In the data sets that were shared with us by the airport authority, we found that the average retail spending time is less than 1 minute in all the retail spaces, regardless of whether you're shopping there or not.
With these problems in mind, our first target demographic will be someone like May. May is curious and adventurous, and she loves traveling. She values experiences over material goods, and a key characteristic about her is that she is a frequent social media user. So for example, Xiaohongshu. And maybe this is her first time traveling to Hong Kong, so she doesn't know a lot about local culture. And this is what our solution might look like. So for example, Lunar New Year is coming up soon. And so this is an interactive, very physical board game, Lunar New Year themed in the airport waiting area. So our solution comes in the form of immersive cultural pop-ups. These pop-ups can be like this. They can be smaller footprints, like this Hong Kong movie scene themed photo booth. And a key part of these pop-up experiences is that they're limited time edition, and they're also flexible in terms of location and schedule. So a key point is that depending on traffic, passenger traffic, depending on where the airport wants to move the flow of people, the airport can activate and deactivate these certain pop-ups. Also, since these pop-ups are only going to be in the airport for certain weeks to certain months at a time, we can keep with themes of events that are ongoing, and we can also encourage retail shopping and repeated visits. So when you go to a pop-up, you'll have a certain challenge to complete. And after completing the challenge, you can collect limited edition souvenirs, such as stamps, bracelets, maybe figurines, or maybe even like these postcard or photo strips. And we'll integrate with the MyHKG app to provide an interactive map of where these pop-ups can be found, as well as descriptions and also like a digital stamp card. The benefits for this on the passenger side are that we can turn layovers into cultural adventures. The passengers can discover overlooked retail spots, and they can also gain these limited edition collectibles that are very representative of their experiences at Hong Kong International Airport. On the airport side, we can incentivize MyHKG app downloads, improve the retail revenue through increased foot traffic, and also promote the airport more on social media.
Now let's take a look at the competitive landscape. Hong Kong International Airport is already recognized as a very efficient airport. However, when we conducted our user interviews and we talked to travelers, they really wanted a closer connection to Hong Kong culture when they passed through the airport. And therefore, when comparing to other airports, such as the one in Singapore, they're equally as efficient. But we can really, with Culture Pop, we can turn Hong Kong International Airport into more of a cultural hub. And with operational efficiency benefits, such as increasing conversion rates for the MyHKG app, and also other benefits, such as potentially crowd control, we can turn Culture Pop can make HKIA into a more operationally efficient and cultural airport. Now taking a look at the market size. There are around 4 million passengers that go through HKIA per month. And 60% of these passengers are young adults in the age range of 18 to 44. On average, each traveler spends around 300 HKD per visit to the airport within the airport. And this gives us a total addressable market of around 720 million Hong Kong dollars per month. Our business model takes the form of a freemium plan. This means that all of our basic features will be available to all travelers for free, but travelers will also have the opportunity to purchase like souvenirs and extra additional experiences. Our go-to-market strategy. So month one, we'll have 5 airside pop-ups, and we'll first experiment in the layover passenger side. And then we'll also expand to an online booking system so that travelers will have the opportunity to learn about this experience even before they come to the airport and have something to look forward to. We'll also leverage beacon data from the airport so that we can make this experience more personalized for both the traveler and for the airport. We'll also have continuous seasonal launches and eventually scale to VR, AR experiences, and even include experiences outside of the Hong Kong airport to create that truly airport city. We're a team of MIT and Hong Kong students passionate about creating a unique cultural experience for anyone that comes to the Hong Kong International Airport. With a $950,000 initial investment, we'll be able to develop and launch our product within a 6-month period. We're Culture Pop, turning layovers into cultural experiences. Thank you.
Great presentation, Team Culture Pop. Now we'll pass the time to the judges for Q&A.
It looks more like a bit similar to the team before. Right? It's culture, it's stamp redemption, souvenirs. How do you differentiate from them?
So our differentiation comes from the design of the experience and also the design of the souvenirs that people can get. And then a key feature of our pop-ups is that because they're limited time, because they're very flexible, and because like you can only go to this certain pop-up within a certain time frame, this will encourage people to come back for more, right? So I guess there are similar, I guess, programs or sort of events around the Asian, I guess, continent. So for example, one key inspiration is PopMart, right? So PopMart is a company that produces a bunch of collectible toys and figurines. I think in 2022, so they pulled in 4.6 billion Chinese yuan in revenue, of which 4.1 billion is from mainland China. So people really like these like collectible things. They just keep buying them, right? In Hong Kong, if you look on Xiaohongshu, there are social media trends where people are taking photos at these subway stations, and they're making these collages, sort of like collecting these subway stations, right? So we want to turn that kind of experience into something they can do within the airport, and something that is unique to Hong Kong.
Additionally, I just want to say, like, one of the pieces of advice that we got from our mentors is that if you have a good idea, chances are 4 to 5 other teams are working on it in the world. But if you have a great idea, chances are 40 to 50 other teams are working on it in the world.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on the culture part? Because I think, you know, I think the you know, yeah, I agree that this are, you know, these are the issues that we like to address, right? And you know, if you go back to the opening page where, you know, where is the more recognizable airport, right? I mean, sure. I mean, I think that is definitely, Singapore definitely, that's an icon, but I don't know whether or not that's really defines the airport, right? So, and I don't know whether or not those cultural pops that you guys propose to put into place would address this problem. You know what I'm saying? As in like, even I have put in, you know, 15 interesting cultural pops at the airport, right? It will not, you know, I don't think that people would say that, oh, because of the cultural pops, you know, I know that this is the Hong Kong airport, unless you do something really fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, we're banking on doing something really fantastic, first of all, but I do think that this waterfall is something that draws a lot of passengers who would otherwise want to go to Hong Kong. Like, I don't think people in general, especially passengers who are going through like Asia for whatever reason, are particularly fascinated by waterfalls, but we've interviewed so many people who have pointed this out that this becomes something that is very difficult to ignore. And yeah, would you like to add to that?
Yeah, and another key thing to think about, I think, is like Instagrammability, right? So for example, like we've all said before, like no one really cares about water falling, but it's such like a like you can take a photo of this and post it on social media, and people will be like, oh, that's what the airport looks like, right? And so we want to address that by adding all of these like cultural pop-ups. Yeah, so by adding cultural pop-ups like this, where people can take a photo, post it on social media, and then like all their followers, all their friends, everyone on social media will be like, oh, this is something unique that Hong Kong Airport is doing, right? I think this is like sort of in keeping with the idea of the Sky Bridge, right? Like the Sky Bridge is super interesting to, you know, see planes going below your feet. And I think when I was doing research about Hong Kong before I even came here, I was like, oh, I want to see, you know, what there is to do in Hong Kong. Sky Bridge was something that I saw on TikTok, on Instagram, on Xiaohongshu, right? But we want to sort of like bring that to the next level.
So I think the real question is what sort of cultural pops, right? Because I think that say for example, right? If I sort of like think about like airport that actually have supposedly cultural pops that supposed to be close to the culture, right? At least from the airports I visited, right? Say if you go to the Beijing Capital Airport, right? You see there's a big pavilion which is actually quite Chinese, and then if you go to the Haneda Airport. At T3, I think they're supposed to have a bridge that assimilate to the Nihonbushi, the Japanese bridge out there. And I don't know whether or not those Nihonbushi bridge or the pavilion actually defines the Beijing Capital Airport or Haneda Airport, even if you put a big piece of like cultural relics or whatever architecture out there, right? So that's why I'm curious, as in what sort of like real differentiating pops ups or cultural pops that if you put it in the airport that would actually makes people remember that this is the Hong Kong airport, right? I don't know, obviously this is obviously quite interesting, but I don't even know how to play this game. I mean, if it's a big mahjong, maybe, but right? But people can resonate with mahjong in Hong Kong, but this one I don't know. So I think that's sort of the question, that how you going to relay the culture back to the airport so that we could be something that really recognizable.
I know the time is limiting, but to add on is it somehow to me that you are linking the trends or what is the popular in Instagram or Xiaohongshu to define the culture, or so that effect would be quite limited and quite short effects. Other than like Changi Airport or other airports that features that mentions by Julian, right? Yeah. So what you should think of is what truly can let the passenger to memorize. What is the key element of culture? Because it's a little bit blurry to me, the concept to me that what's culture you are mentioning. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree that what you place as the cultural or what the pop-ups feature is important. And on that note, we'll also feature kind of like seasonal pop-ups, and they'll switch out over time. But from what we've learned from talking to people at the airport, we learned that the experience or how they feel when they interact with these pop-ups is most important. For example, we came across a lot of kind of young adults. Someone was on like their honeymoon or whatever, but they were like, we have 6 hours at this airport, and I really want to do shopping. I want to bring something from Hong Kong to my friends. But they're all very American stores, you can get anywhere. Nothing really. There were like 3 stores that represented Hong Kong culture, and those were very packed. The others were very empty. So just being able to provide this experience, they can send photos to their friends, like, oh, I'm at Hong Kong airport, and today I got to learn about 5 things. Maybe if I come next month, I'll be able to learn about 5 other elements of Hong Kong culture. So I think it's experience and how they feel that matters.
I think also, lastly, just to add, so yeah, we'll definitely partner with local artists. I obviously cannot say that I know everything about Hong Kong culture, right? I'm not even from here. But yeah, partnering with local artists, partnering with local businesses to create that authenticity is also a key part.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, judges, and thank you, Team Culture Pop. Now, our next 3 presentations feature pitches from local university teams. May we invite on stage Alpha Energy IoT. Start when you're ready.
Hello. Hello. Hi, everyone. We are from Alpha Energy IoT Limited, and we have created the world's first one-time and auto-adjustable solar beacons for green, sustainable, and high-performance Internet of Things. And this is our latest prototype. So our vision is to revolutionize the development of smart cities by enhancing the customer experience through Internet of Things or Internet of Everything. solution with AI, big data, renewable energy, blockchain, and nanotechnology. So the problems that we found during the beacons research, this from my publications in IEEE, and we have deployed several thousand of battery power beacons in HKUST campus, in newsstands across Hong Kong, and in BTS SkyTrain stations in Bangkok. And what we found with the battery power beacons, we also know that Hong Kong Airport also deploy more than 10,000 beacons, and they need to be replaced every 2 years, sometimes 3 years. So this will increase, it will have high management costs, battery costs, replacement battery, and manpower, transportation, and time. And also, it can be very dangerous. You can imagine, sometimes we need to deploy beacons higher above the ground, and we need to climb the long ladder up to replace the batteries. It can be very dangerous and very tedious to replace batteries, and also create battery waste and bad for the environment. So our solution, we provide IoT solution that can reduce management costs, and also minimize battery wastes, addressing the airport sustainability goals. How can we achieve this goal? Our solution uses light energy from indoor light sources and from outdoor light sources or the sun. And also, we have created the latest version. It's called auto-adjustable solar beacons. It can use AI to learn the light-changing environment and adjust its solar panel automatically. We have developed algorithms to compute the optimal angles under multiple light sources indoor and under light-changing environment. So our solution with the adjustable solar beacon has the faster charging rate by up to 570% compared to the normal solar beacons. And also has significantly slower discharge rate, extend lifetime of beacons, and lower the maintenance costs. And these are my publications related to the adjustable solar beacons. So these are some of the media exposure related to our team and some collaboration. For the beacon market, when look at the Asia Pacific beacon market, it is predicted to reach the fastest compound annual growth rate, huge growth, around 80% from 2019 to 2026. So we plan to capture around up to 1% of this market, Asia Pacific market, up to around $6 million in our 5th year. So this is the package that we sell. We have 3 packages. We would recommend Hong Kong Airport if would like to adopt this Go package. Oops, sorry. Yeah, this one, Go package. And this Go package include the AI model for better recommendation, personalized proximity marketing, and include the data analytics. And the price, around 10,000 Hong Kong dollars per month, and includes software servers. For renting the beacon, one beacon renting price only 50 Hong Kong dollars per beacon per month, but we can also give special offer to Hong Kong Airport. Okay. So this is still cheaper than hiring the data analysts. Competitor matrix. So in terms of sustainability, our beacon can last for a lifetime without changing batteries because we maximize the light environment to harvest the energy. And also the affordability, because no need for the replacement battery cost. In terms of affordability, long-term is good investment. And our team, we have 70 plus publications in IoT, AI, big data, and robotics and renewable energy, and 20 plus patents. So for the competitive advantage, we maximize the energy harvesting using renewable energy from indoor and outdoor environment. And also, our beacon can last for a lifetime without changing batteries, reduce management costs and danger for replacing batteries. Also, we have personalized proximity marketing using AI and provide data analytics. And we also use the latest nanotechnology for waterproof, dustproof, thermal insulation, and antibacterial on the casing, our product. So currently, this is a new version, auto-adjustable solar beacon that we plan to launch this year. And we already have pre-order from Reality Plus Limited doing VR and AR exhibition. And this is the milestone roadmap for this product, new product launch. So this year, we plan to launch the auto-adjustable solar beacons with AI nanotechnology and some blockchain for IoT security. So these are our core team members. My name is Perm Sunsawat. I'm the CEO and founder, technology and business development person. And we have CTO here, Ji Peng, also here, helped build 3 successful tech startups. And also field professor Saddam, Professor Pim for marketing, Professor Saddam for renewable energy and AI. And Max also here, doing the hardware as a hardware engineer. And Shem, our consultant in entrepreneurship. So these are our clients with our related products, AI products. And some collaborations here. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Alpha Energy IoT. Now we'll open up Q&A. Thank you.
You're addressing a long outstanding pain points at our airport. Definitely, yes. Solar powered for IoT, that has been my dream for over 10 years. And recently, we have a number of, basically we have a number of use cases, not just the beacons. The beacons we have existing, we have about over 10,000 beacons installed. But we're going to upgrade already, probably around in next few months, we'll upgrade to less than 3,000 beacons, that's smart beacons, making use of Bluetooth and also the Earth magnetics for positioning, right? But power is always a problem, right?
Right.
We track trolleys, baggage trolleys, everywhere. We have many of those tensile barriers. You know, there are many equipments in the terminal that we need to track where they are, and the battery is always a problem. I can stick whatever the IoT device and sensing the positioning, indoor positioning, but what it's missing, it's continue replacing the battery. Recently, we worked with a research institution in Hong Kong, NAMI, and they provide us a trial, a successful trial on solar plate, so no battery required. Basically, it's almost permanent powered, attaching a device on a baggage trolley that uses the indoor lights to power up and continue sending the positioning signals back to the GPS, back to the data clouds, right? Yes, I think this is really attractive. Keen to look forward to learn more. There are a lot of use cases here in Hong Kong Airport. Yeah, so probably follow up if you can do a briefing. Come to our office, do a briefing for us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Team Alpha Energy IoT. And next up, we have Team Soft and Gravity. Please come up onto the stage. Thank you.
So, good morning, honorable judges. My name is Mars. I'm the co-founder of Soft and Gravity. We are here to bring you a brand new method to solve an old school problem for Hong Kong people. That is, desire for companionship. Next page. Hong Kong people today is so stressful. We're having the fastest pace of lifestyle, living in the smallest apartment, facing increasing time, financial, and social pressure. how to deal with it. Hang out with our friends, that what acts extra social pressure. What about having a pet? We want to, but where can we get the extra time and money for it? Okay, no human, no pets. How about plants? Have you ever thought about that? Next page. According to Leon, The Professionals, a great movie, it's the best idea never, ever. Not like your aggressive girlfriend. Plants are always happy, always ready for your sharing. But so far, plants are just plants. They don't have a mouth to speak. So here comes another great movie called Blade Runner. Its heroine is an AR girl called Joy. She doesn't have a physical body, but only holographic virtual image. By combining these ideas together, we are thrilled to share you with our solution, Joy, our next generation companion. Next page. What we are going to do is to use the large language model to equip your plants with a mouth to talk and the holographic projections to give them a face to interact so that we can bridge the tech-nature gap. Not like those video games or digital pets. No matter how much effort you put on them, they're just lines of codes. You don't have real emotional attachment to them. But Joy is different. Joy is real life. It's breathing, growing, and cannot be deleted. Here's the key features of Joy. Multi-sensor tracks plant environmental conditions, emotion-enhanced speech processing and virtual expression response, smooth voice communication, and mental health first aid. We also have plant care advice for sustainable gardening using the large language model. And all of these things above can be customized based on the customer's need. And to achieve these, we have done the software design and hardware design, along with all those cutting-edge AI modules. So we can actually make these things to reality. Believe me, I will use 2 points to completely persuade you. First, next page. First, our team brings a full spectrum of talents, from engineering to industrial design, from business to accounting. And we also we have the ability and commitment to reach our goal step by step. Next page. Second, we said we can do it because we actually did it. Yes, all of the stuffs above we have shown on the last slides are already achieved. And we have already built our MVP, and we are quickly iterating our product. And actually today in the morning, our MVP is showcasing in our school right now. So we cannot bring it to this place. So, and we are quickly iterating our product because we know our goal is to commercialize it. So aiming to do that, we have done a really comprehensive business research and the business model. Next page. For business strategy, we aim to emulate Tencent's approach to game sales with our Joy product and its value-added services, adopting a game industry term which is called DLC, downloadable content, as our core strategy. Similar to how game companies release their new DLCs to enhance games and generate ongoing revenue, we plan to offer Joy's basic model at a very competitive price to penetrate the market, followed by the sales of a bunch of additional services. Essentially, Joy, as a versatile platform, will also be able to control smart home devices, collaborate with other IPs for customized virtual avatars, and even showcase NFT collections. You name it, we have it. Next page. To realize our business plan, we have developed an implementation plan with key performance indicators and a robust risk management strategy. So based on our core business model, next page. This is our risk management strategies. And next page. Based on our core business model, we confidently project turning a profit in the second year post-launch. With careful expansion and stringent risk control, we expect steady growth, aiming for a financial return of nearly 360% by the 5th year. Next page. Besides business, we are also deeply committed to making a significant social impact especially in reducing Hong Kong's rising suicide rates. Currently, nearly 1,000 citizens in Hong Kong commit suicide annually, often impulsively and without awareness of the need for professional psychotherapy. By providing education on mental health first aid and encourage the customers to reach out for the psychologists and social workers, Joy can play a crucial role in this area using the large language models. So our data suggests that for every 100 Joy products sold, 0.3 lives can be saved. And therefore, over 5 years, we aim to save more than 1,699 lives, contributing to a more dynamic and healthier Hong Kong. Next page. So in summary, Joy is an intelligent planter that combines plant care, mental health support, and voice and image interaction. So integrating Joy into Hong Kong International Airport presents a unique opportunity. Passengers at airport often face long wait times and unaddressed psychological stress, especially families traveling with children who might find it challenging to keep their playful kids occupied. So Joy can serve as an interactive botanical companion, not just beautifying the place with greenery, but also providing a restful and expressive outlet for waiting passengers. So for children in particular, interacting with Joy can be both entertaining and educational, imparting knowledge about plant conservation and environment. So, yeah, so Joy is here to bring you with joy. Thank you. Yeah.
Great, thank you, Soft and Gravity. Any questions from the judges?
So are you trying to sell it to the passengers that who's laying over, or you're saying that we should install one at the airport?
I think our basic strategy is like using the airport as a media to sell our product. And the airport can also use the Joy as a thing to give the passengers a time for them to relax and to interact with the robot, and so that they.
So is it selling? Am I selling at the gate to customer on this, or
No.
are you going to be like saying that we should install one at a totem and basically talk to the plant?
I think the airport can consider like installing some robots in the way that passenger pass by, and the passenger can when they have some mental health needs, or when their kids need some time for them to play with, the passengers can go to try these products. And also the Joy is also plant pots, which can be a thing for the nature for the nature part of the airport construction, like it's beautifying the places.
Okay,
of the
so
airport.
simply you're saying you want to put up, you're proposing put a pop-up store, right? And basically have a demo plan over there, and then you can have kids come by and basically try it out and sell the plant pots to the kids.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's what you're thinking.
Yeah, like we can have some tryout conversations.
Okay, all right. So the second question is, actually, how do you know how do we know what the plant feel, and because obviously you can talk to the plant.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether or not the plant would, how do you know how the plant respond?
Yeah. Actually, this is a very important question. And how we solve it is by using multiple sensors to detect the plant's conditions. Like we have some moisture sensors detecting whether the plant does it need water or not. And we combine these needs with some emotions like human, like we feel thirsty and we feel anxious. And when the plant need water, he may feel a little bit anxious, and he needs the people to water the plant. So in the conversation, we will bring our emotion into it, and also tell the users that we need people to water me, so that the user can have some interactions when they are like caring for the plant. Yeah. Okay.
Great. Thank you, Soften Gravity. Next up, we have our last student team for today, Travel AI. Please come up to the stage. I'm sorry, we're experiencing some technical issues. We'll start in a bit. Great. Please start when you're ready.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kelvin from Travel AI. Okay. First of all, what is your first impression when you're thinking about travel? I think maybe it's a beautiful scenery, or delicious food, or wonderful cultural experience. Everything seems perfect when you and you can't wait to let off the pressures with travel. But until you decide to planning your trip, compressed travel diagram, communication barrier with different language, and the information exposure on different OTA platform. During the tourist survey, we realized there have over 90% of the traveler spending of 3.4 hours to planning the travel schedule. Therefore, the world have over 2.4 billion travelers. That means we waste over 9.3 billion hours per year just for planning our travel schedule. Therefore, is there any technical solution can solve this problem? Luckily, we're living in our AI era. We can ask ChatGPT to solve this problem. But unfortunately, here you can see the result. ChatGPT can't solve my problem. The reason is simple. ChatGPT is a chat generation pre-trained converter. It can easily become a master of Shakespeare, but it's still difficult to think in multi-dilemma like time and space. Also, it only can generate an unreasonable travel schedule like this one. But don't worry, Travel AI got your back. We're using our own technology, time and space algorithm to empower our over 100 AI model to generate your customized travel schedule. You just need to chat with our chatbot and type where you want to go, how long and how many people, then we will generate your customized travel schedule within 30 seconds. And the left-hand side is our demo video, and you can just type your request, and we will generate your customized schedule within the flights and what JR you should take after you leave the airport, and what tour spot, and also what restaurant nearby your tour spot. Something like that. And moreover, you can edit your with your friend and family in real time by our SaaS AI schedule. Moreover, we have a Travel AI GPT. When you generate your AI schedule, if you want to have a more comfortable travel experience, you can talk to our AI chatbot. Just say, I want to take JR other than I want to take Uber other than JR. Then we will directly change all the transportation schedule into Uber. If you say you are vegetarian, we will find the vegetarian-friendly restaurant and change all the restaurant schedule instantly. Also, we are ready to work with Google Map team to provide the most solid result to our user. And now I will pass the time to Vincent to talk about the competitor analysis.
Yep, it's my turn. And just based on the data analysis, the results come out. Our company Travel AI is the most convenient and customized travel planning system compared with the other similar. And we are the top tier of the planning system just because we are adding the AI technology to our Travel AI apps. And turn to the customers. For our customers, our target customers is teenagers or young study crowd who interested in Japan's vocation, and they really need to be acceptable for the AI technology, and really need to try the new happens and things. So AI is so famous and popular right now. And we are being supportive to help them don't mess up all the details of the trip. And next to the market size, and you can see that the tourism industry has always been the most important supporting indicator for the economy. And as you can see, the worldwide market size is reach around $316 billion right now. And what's a big but for that? And our business is building up in Japan right now. And we really need to expand our business to the Asian Pacific, even though worldwide. The worldwide market size is our next statics.
Thank you, Vincent. Since our target customer is the young generation, so we were setting a promo both in every university, and also we were putting the ad on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And we want to cooperate with airline to promote the digital air ticket gacha machine and increase the sales on their off season. Furthermore, after generate your travel schedule, you just need to click one button to buy all the items within their travel insurance and the eSIM card. Our app will collect all the prompt and the user data to increase their conversion rate of their advertising. We got a strong business team in Hong Kong and Japan, and also we have a worldwide technical team to build this killing app. Furthermore, we have free advisor from AI and travel industry. Therefore, we aim to launch our product in next month to Hong Kong and Japan market in Q1 after we provide their after we prove a concept, we will expand to Taiwan for more market share. And that is the end of our sharing. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you for your presentation, Travel AI. Now we'll open up Q&A. Any questions from the judges?
Okay, thanks for presentations. I understand that you're working on traveling industry, but with the contest here today, so can you propose any plan with the smart airport?
Yeah, we think the transportation is the one of the most biggest problem of their travel experience. So, for example, when I go to travel into Tokyo, when I have a late flight, maybe I go to Japan at 3 a.m. What JR I should take or what transportation I should take, and with our AI, maybe I don't know any of it. So if I have Travel AI and I plan the travel schedule before I go to Japan, then I will know all the details. Although I go to Tokyo very late, and also we are planning to cooperate with some shopping mall and some event space or some shop just like USJ, and if they want to buy some goods or product, they can just leave it here, and we will help them transportation to Hong Kong, because our team have a trading company guy, the Kobayashi-san. He already have the license of all of it. So all the shop within their airport, we can help them just save some space of your luggage, and we help you transportation order goods to your home without air freight.
Any other questions?
When I search the App Store, there are a few travel AI apps. Which one is yours, and how does it differentiate? Is Klook or other Expedia doing the same thing? I believe they're doing the same thing, right? So what's the niche, or what's the difference between your engine and their engine?
Oh, they are basically as their OTA platform, so they will have a listing platform for all the results, such as if I search their hotel room, they will have over 1 million resale and show it to me. But if I have to find the most suitable one for me, and I have to take time to find it. But if I ask AI, within 30 seconds, not only their hotel room, all the things I can perfectly match and solve their problem for you. So it's the biggest difference between me and Klook and other OTA platform is their efficiency. We just need within 30 seconds, but after we're doing the survey in airport, all of it say they took around 2 or 3 hours to booking all the things in different OTA platforms. So our biggest advantage is we can save a lot of time.
Tell me how to download your app.
We will launch in next month.
Oh, all right, I see. Not yet. Okay, very interesting. So really look forward to see how it can work in our apps, or how your engine can promote the airport city journey for our passengers, end-to-end journey even.
Thanks for your question.
Great. Thank you. Thank you to all teams and judges. Now it's time for judges' deliberation, where the organizers will move the judges to a quiet area to discuss the results. For the teams, please move to your team booths. The team booths will be over there. And for our in-person audience, you will also have a chance to vote for your favorite team. So please visit our project booths over there in the corner and place your wooden token, which you have received at the registration booth, into one of the team boxes. And for our online audience, please stay online and we'll resume with the results in approximately 15 minutes. Hi everyone, can we please have everyone seated and we'll resume soon. I will start very soon. Please take a seat. Okay, welcome back to the showcase. Thank you, judges, for your hard work deliberating on the results. May we invite a representative from our industry partner, the Airport Authority of Hong Kong, to say a few words. Mr. Julian Lee and Mr. Chris Aoyong, please come on stage.
Okay, so thank you very much. I think you guys spent a lot of time and effort on this. I think actually quite entertaining too, right? I think we and actually rightfully pinpoint a lot of the issues that we face on the airport. So I think aside, we'll announce the result later, right? Okay, so I'm not saying the result yet. But I think in general, I think that identifying the problem it's good, right? I think obviously there's a lot of issues and pain points that we see at the airport. When I joined the authority a couple years back, right? I think from an outsider's going to the airport, and Chris would know, I have like a laundry list of complaints on problems that I see. And I think obviously, right, when you go to an organization, you try to find the low-hanging fruit. You're trying to find, issues that you could try to solve in an easy manner, but actually could make some big impact. So I think that for teams that I see, I think that the winner that we may, we announce later would actually have a pretty, I think the judges feel that there's a pretty comprehensive concept in it. But I think that obviously the remaining teams obviously have identified the problems quite correctly at the airport. But I think that when we analyze the problems, I think we would need to think more in terms of the solutions that we provided, and also that the investments that were needed for the solutions. I think that various proposals that come into at least two of the teams, right, actually would involve quite a bit of capex, right? One is the transport. I think the Leapfrog would have a little bit of capex that's going to be involved, and I think the airlock as well, right? Because that space within the terminal are scarce, and you need to find space, and actually you need to put in a lot of electronics around it, right? So the capex that involved sometimes are actually, we know that it's going to be a lot more than whatever you guys are thinking. So I think that, when you think about those, solutions, right? Sometimes that's why when the airlock, questions comes, right? We ask, okay, so traditional, that doesn't need a lot of capex, right? Because if you think about lockers, right, it just takes space, right? And it could be just very traditional, right? We know lockers for a long time. And if that solution works, great, and we would upgrade it to whatever. But I think that the fundamental question that you have to answer is whether or not the solution that you're providing, even in low cost, whether or not it's going to make an impactful solutions to the problems. I think the remaining two, I think the last two teams, I would actually propose them to merge together. I think if you have a proposal of mergers and acquisitions, I think they would come up with a pretty robust ideas. I think one focus on the food and the other one focus on the pops. I think that the food and obviously food cultures are good, right? I think Hong Kong people love food. I mean, and that's exactly why we have Dan Tat Wong, the egg tarts and the airport, which is pretty unique. I think. And so does many airports, right? Try to bring some local cultural foods, right? I think in Boston you have legal seafood in there, which is important, but accessible, and people recognize having sort of like a local restaurants in there. But I think try to bring it out and try to bring extra steps in here, right? Actually, where to put the store is also important, right? I mean, whether or not it's on the air side or the land side. It's tricky because you want passengers to spend time inside, and actually different places have different preferences, right? I think in Hong Kong, you see that the air side, which is the restricted area, has actually more interesting stores, right? The interesting stores actually on the air side, because we much rather passengers spend money inside the air side of the airport, because that's where they would like them to spend the money, because they have no place to go, right? Some people have pointed out that no place to go shopping, obviously, is where we like them to spend time and money on, right? There are other places, like if you go to Japan, right? Actually, the interesting place is actually on the domestic land side, where all this ramen streets, which is somewhat similar to the cultural things, right? Which actually happen on the land side, where the food cultures really come into place, but not inside the restricted area, but on the outside of the airport, which I think we are trying to bring it out at the 11 Skies, hopefully, in a few years' time when it sort of opens up. But the plans are there, but it's going to take time to realize. So I think, and I think for cultural pop-up, right, I think in my question, alluded to where the comments, right? I think, when you think about the solutions, right, what reflects the Hong Kong culture? I think obviously the mentors have been giving, some, or tools that we've been trying to do, which is a Xiaohongshu, right? Which is where the mainland Chinese are thinking. But I think that's the result of what, when we think about those social medias, right, is what people think they like. But I think that you have to bring the product out, then they would respond, right? It is a media, you have to remember, right? That, Xiaohongshu is actually a social media. It's not what they drive us, it's what we drive them. So I think when you think about like the cultural pop-up, right, the thinking should be more like, okay, so what do we Hong Kong people do and could be international? Right? So when you put the games in there, then it would be the mahjong, as I mentioned. I don't know whether you can put a fancy mahjong, but, right? But I think that all my, my moms and the grandfather and grandmother and whatever, that's definitely a mahjong culture in Hong Kong for sure. And in a way, that's also Asian as well, right? There's many places that playing different types of mahjong. One example. I don't know if that's it, but that would reflect some culture, and that may be something that instead of a chessboard that we have, right? I think at the airport we have a chessboard, right? Maybe we should put a big mahjong. Maybe that would reflect our culture more, right? So I think when you think about the solutions of that, I think that would be the ideas. I think the first one have interesting ideas too, right? The first teams also have links in terms of business model. Although I think that obviously the market segment is a little bit niche, right? Very niche market. But I think we could also see some potential in there, right? Because there is a students elements to it, and I think we expanded more into a segment for sort of a mass market segment for international travelers, right? That potentially something that could think about, and it could match something that we potentially are thinking, right? And we are also thinking that actually airlines. I think one of the slides and some of the team mentioned about it, I forgot which one, saying that Peach Airlines in Japan have flash sales of their tickets. Actually, we know that airlines sometimes have unused tickets that are available, right? Then the pain point is obviously they don't want to cannibalize their own sales, right? They don't want to sell it because they would not like to market it, a flash sale, but actually they're unused seats, right? So we are thinking about like, okay, are there ways that we could market it out, right? And basically increase the traffic, given that seats are supposedly at very low cost anyway. How can I flash sell it without cannibalize the airport own ticketing system, right? So that's something that could potentially match us with the Dino team. So anyway, I think we have all good efforts. I think good solving of the problems that we have. Encourage you to think more comprehensively, and also the think points, right? I think the problem that you see, I think the Leapfrog guys, right? Leapfrogs, rightfully the problem, the SF Express is expensive, right? But I think the team had, operating team, and Chris would know, that spent a lot of effort, to you try to convince the MTR, right? Sometimes negotiations are tough, okay? Whether or not they want to work with you, sometimes you need to work. Secondly, right? Actually, the market segmentation. I know that many people up here may not have used it, but actually the segment target of that product is actually business segments, actually for travelers who would be like the professors, who are assuming that if you stay at, I don't know, assuming if you stay at Mandarin, I don't know, MIT afford it, but if Mandarin, Holiday Inn, there we go. Okay, so yes, then check, when, and in the flights that we have, if Hong Kong is a hub airport, right? So the long haul flight usually travels at night, so leaves at night. The regional flights are actually taking place in daytime, arriving in the morning, right? So that's how a hub airport works, right? The long haul flights are arriving in the morning, connecting passengers to the other closer region like Beijing or some other places, and they come back like over the day and travel out at night so that you can maximize the whole cycle, right? So I think when you think about the connectivity of that, right? So for that passengers, right, you would have check out the hotel in the morning, right, at 9 a.m. And where do I put the luggage, right? So if the SF Express guy come check in and basically say, I take care of your luggages, the expenses will be paid by MIT anyway because it's business expenses. And basically then the professors can see all the meetings and do it and travel to the airport afterwards. So it is expensive for a reason. So, so thank you very much for all the efforts. Again, very pleased to have hosted problems, and I encourage you for continuous engagement with the airport in many ways, including applications to our internship for summers. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Would Chris like to share a few words?
Every year, this is the 4th year. Every year, I feel myself getting younger and younger. Seeing all your energetic presentations, vivid, lovely presentations, make me always have more, feel younger, especially the illustration, the way that you illustrate. I can see that this year they are more using ChatGPT to generate the photos. Yeah, that's very interesting. I also do the same thing. So it's good to see that, and it's also entertaining as well. So well done. Second is, how many of you still remember the topics that we gave for this year? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, the challenge statement that we gave is how to accelerate the traffic recovery of Hong Kong International Airport, right? Given the new norm of the mainland travelers, their new behaviors, how can we accelerate the recovery pace? I would think that if the teams can do more and make the business model to be more comprehensive and high impact, it would be better, right? They really help us a lot. There are also good hits on, good tries on the culture thing, although it might be a bit special on a certain like Hong Kong food. But I think they are still, a good try. Having said that, it can, make the model to be more impact and wider. If you can expand not just the Hong Kong food, but something else as well, right? Anyway, yep, I think these are all my general comments, and the rest of our individual teams, I think Julian has made a very good feedback. And finally, there are 3 teams, Alpha, right? Joy and Travel AI. Thanks MIT this year to particularly organize. This is not joining the challenge, right? The competition, but it's really bringing in some startups, new things, real solid things, right? To help us at the airport. And for those who are really interested in having a new startup, all your business cases are very sound, right? Look at the figures. I know it's just make-up figures, right? But if you really, really want to create your own business, why not talk to these 3 teams? They are running live business. And there are many, many different challenges in the real life, just Julian said. Talking to MTR is not easy, right? Installing conveyor belts are extremely expensive. Try to look for a space for sorting out the bags and put into the train. Where can you find the space in Hong Kong? These are real challenges. So anyway, well done. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, judges, Mr. Julian Lee and Mr. Chris Au Yong, for your kind words and for your feedback to the teams. And now we'll announce the results. Let's start with the audience votes. Audience vote first. So our audience placed their votes earlier, and the results are in. So may we invite Professor Sodini to join the stage and present the award.
All right. I didn't bring my glasses, so now I got to decide whether I can actually see this or not. But the audience selected JCR Express. Does someone want to come up here and get an award? Or should I award myself? Yeah, please come up.
I would like to thank the audience for this. We put a lot of time and effort as a team. It's a great idea. We feel we're just really happy to get the recognition that I think all 6 of us deserve in this case.
Thank you both.
Great. Yeah. So now for the winner. Now we'll announce the winner. The winner is DinoFly. Please come up to the stage. And now, can we please have the judges join us for a photo op with Team DinoFly? Great, very well done and congratulations to Team DinoFly. So please return to your seats. This event is almost coming to an end and would like to invite MIT Node's Executive Director, Marina Chan, for brief closing remarks before we take a big group photo.
Well, first of all, huge thanks for coming today, and we're really excited to be presenting our very fine groups of students from MIT, Hong Kong, and also the startups to be showcasing innovative ideas as we think about helping the Hong Kong International Airport, improve traffic, etc. This has been a very special year, given we can actually have travel resume, and at the same time be able to experience a much more condensed version of the program. I think we actually had 11 days to prepare, a little bit shorter than before, but we're really excited to be able to have strong teams going through the ideation process, being able to go behind the scenes at the airport, coming up with ideas that I'm sure pivoted multiple times throughout the past 2 weeks to finally arrive at a pitch-ready event today. A huge thanks to our judges, Julian, Chris from the airport, Bonnie and Lowell from the Science Park for coming and also sharing your insights with us. And finally, big thanks to the support from the Innovation and Technology Commission for making this event possible, and to all the wonderful audience we have here today, visitors from abroad. We've got Professor Bruce Teeter from MIT, and also Sean Gilbert as well, and last but not least, Charlie Sedini, our faculty director. So again, thank you for your support, and we look forward to continued events with your presence. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Marina. So let's take a big group photo. Can we have the teams at the back move up to the front to fill up the empty spaces? And then we'll have the photographers take a panorama photo. So please stay seated and look at the camera. Okay, so we'll take a big panorama photo right now. Please stay seated and look at the camera. Great. Thank you, everyone, for joining the Smart Airport Challenge Showcase today. So this concludes the showcase for today. Thank you all for joining us both in person and online. So for those here in this room, feel free to continue to mingle in this space. Stay well, and we hope to see you again soon.